So much for joining us. Well, we wanted to mention that I know you're a busy man, and you're actually busy. You're doing a photo shoot today, but the name of your business, Moda Bambini Kids Photography. I got that right, correct? Yeah, that's right. Well, and you've become known as. You can come in here during your call. Kids modeling. Can you explain that a little bit? You got
just once the call's done, that's when I need to record.
You know, it's funny, a couple moms were saying that kind of joking around a couple months ago, and it kind of stuck. And I see what they're saying, you know.
But you're not mean-spirited like Simon Cowell. You're.
Well, you know, I think Simon, as well as myself, I think he's genuinely trying to help people, and he's, you know, he can be strict. But I'm not like him so much in that respect. But you know, I've become like the go-to guy here for launching kids, you know, in the modeling thing over the last 6 years or so. So in that respect, you know what I mean. That's not the meanness, of course, you know.
Gotcha. Scouting out the talent, and you're joining with WMEL and AVET Project to put on a free model talent scouting day this coming weekend. Tell me a little bit about that.
Melissa and I will be there. A lot of it is we're trying to figure out what kids are going to be in the AVET Project Fashion Show March 4th at the Space Coast Convention Center, and also give us a chance to see some new kids for other things as well. At the same time.
So on Saturday, February 18th and Sunday, February 19th, and it's going to be held at the Courtyard Marriott in Cocoa Beach. What ages of children, boys and girls, are you looking for?
Okay, I know that weekend, 3 to 21.
Okay, so anybody under the age of 18 needs to be accompanied by a parent, but if they're 18 to 21,
sure,
they can simply show up, and there's no cost for this.
Oh, no, of course not, no.
And this is the product of this talent scouting day. And folks, you've been listening to WMEL Radio. You're hearing the promotional spot run where we're trying to get some folks interested in this. We want you to come out. If you think, everybody thinks their children are beautiful or cute, but it's not necessarily the cuteness or the any child could potentially be recognized as a model, right? I mean, it's not one particular look you're after.
It's funny. It's like some kids look like they're going to book and some don't. I mean, all kids are cute, you know, but there's just that indefinable something that you see, you know. I know, like in commercials, there was that. I think it was a 1-800 collect or something, and they had all kinds of different looking kids. You know, one kid looked like a turtle, and another kid looked like a giraffe. And, you know, they were joking around in the commercial. So I think more commercials, TV, and film, any age, any look. You know, but modeling's a little more precise than that.
Yeah, and good morning, Paula. This is Glenn here, and what made you decide to support AVET Project for free with this event?
Well, the minute I heard about it and was asked to if I was interested in participating, I jumped on it. You know, I come from both sides of my family go back, you know, in military history for way back.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I start with my dad. My dad was a Ranger in World War II. He was in the invasion of Normandy. And everything I'm saying and about to say, my dad never told me any of it, not a word of this. It was pieced together from talking to my mom and, you know, a couple of his friends. My dad was, you know, one of those guys, never talked about it. But I know he was in North Africa, Rangers. He was an MP. He rode motorcycle escort for Patton and de Gaulle. Was the guy beside him, two motorcycles in the lead. He was the guy beside him hit a landmine, was blown off the bike and died from it. My dad was just blown off his bike and caught a little shrapnel. Nothing life-threatening or anything like that. And then I started looking into I knew my grandfather actually died, had an accidental death in uniform. It was a gunshot that was accidental, and I was researching my grandfather on my dad's side, and I thought he was in World War I and in Europe, and as it turns out, the only action he ever saw was on horseback in Mexico against Pancho Villa, which caught me, by surprise. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. So your family is steeped in military background, and we appreciate that.
On my dad's side, all the way back to the Civil War. We traced it. I have a cousin and I that we've been working on this for a couple of years, and we traced it back all the way to the Civil War on my dad's side, and then on my mother's side, there was a lot of military too, mostly in Europe. My mom's, my grandparents on my mother's side are Italian. My dad's side of the family is actually Austrian.
Well, we salute them all, honestly. We really appreciate that, because that has clearly spurred you on to want to help and support the military and veteran community.
When you ask why, it's like I think everybody has has a duty and an obligation to every citizen. It's the United States, like the security of our country is so important, and if something happens here and there's no freedom here, there's no freedom anywhere. There's nowhere like the United States. We have the most freedom of any country in the world, and we have to stay that way, or the whole world's going to go south.
I couldn't have said that better myself, and I really appreciate your efforts to support this project, AVET project that's got going, because we're trying to give the kids that might otherwise not be given a chance to expose themselves to this type of opportunity. They may not get called, but as you've got it set up at this free model talent scouting day at the Courtyard Marriott in Cocoa Beach next Saturday and Sunday, ages 3 to 21, you're going to select some of the children, some of the folks that show up for the fashion show on March 4th. Is that right?
Oh yeah, good. That's mostly what this is for. This is mostly to. We really need. I know we need guys 9 to 21. We've got kind of a shortage of that. The other age groups we're doing okay. Of course, we'd love to see more people, but we really need some guys 9 to 21.
Well, it's interesting because we just brought a bunch of Cub Scouts through the radio station, gave them a tour, and they cut a promo. I'm going to have to put the word out to our Cub Scout community, because not only were these kids talented, they were pretty cute too. But basically, any young man aged 9 to 21 that wants to get involved can show up at this free. That's the big word. That's the word of the day. That's all.
Oh yeah, free. Free is the word.
Model Talent Scouting Day. And Paul St. John, you're going to be there, and give us an example for our listeners. Give us an example of what you are able to do with some of these talented kids. What happens? You've got scores and scores of placements with these kids in national campaigns. But give us a couple examples, if you would.
My blog's full of them. I could give you a little background first, and to explain all that. I grew up in Pennsylvania, New York, in the music business for about 10 years. I moved to Los Angeles in the late 70s, and I went from, I was actually booking and managing rock bands for about 10 years. The booking agency evolved into a concert production company. That evolved into a management company, at which point I moved to Los Angeles. So when I got to LA, as my music clients were dropping off, I didn't add more. I started working with actors and models, and then I eventually ended up. I found a wife. Like I'm doing now, through the scouting, I found a bunch of people, including Jamie Presley, who was won an Emmy.
My Name is Earl, the television program. It was one of my favorites at the time. So you discovered her.
Yeah, I discovered Jamie in every sense of the word. I actually managed her for a few years. Jamie, from 13, from the age of, she's 34 now, but at 13, Jamie was like, my best friend, my sister, and my kid all rolled into one, and she still is. Now, for somebody that wants to see visual proof of this, because you've got some wonderful information, and how can they find out about this online? Okay, you can go to MotoBambiniKidsPhotography.com, click on media. You'll see Jamie talking about me by name with David Letterman. You'll see Sharon Osbourne and Jamie talking about me by name on The Talk, I think it's called. You can go to Barnes & Noble, buy Jamie's autobiography, her book. Can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Well,
but
the key is modabambinikidsphotography.com. That's MODA Bambini Kids Photography, all one word, modabambinikidsphotography.com. Click on media, you'll find all this information, and then you'll get an opportunity, any of our listeners out there, to see some of the children you're working with currently.
Yeah, if you go to media and click on the blog, you'll see probably 200 or 300. The Moda Bambini's only been up for 2 years, and my plan was that within 5 years or so, I was hoping it would be kind of a recognized brand. But it started happening overnight. Within 6 months, it started happening, and now I'd say probably 90% of the people in the entire world that have anything to do with kids modeling know and trust that Moda Bambini brand. Like if you pick up Vogue Bambini, there's a magazine called Vogue Bambini out of Milan. I have 5-10 kids that I've shot and scouted at agencies that are every month in there.
Outstanding. Well, Paul, I know you got a real busy day today. We're really appreciative of you spending a few minutes with us and our listeners to talk about this free Model Talent Scouting Day coming up next weekend, February 18th and 19th at the Courtyard Marriott in Cocoa Beach. Paul, again, look forward to working with you. This is going to be a great event. We'll see you next weekend. Thank you so much for joining us on American Warrior Radio.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. You bet. I want to throw out there missy.dominguez@gmail.com. You can find out more if you're interested, if you have any reservations or you want to know a little more information. Obviously, go to the website we mentioned, which is modabambinikidsphotography.com, and you can email Missy, MISSY.Dominguez, DOMINGUES, Missy.Dominguez@gmail.com. It's a free event, folks, and the neat thing is, Glenn, we're going to be involved, and we've already got quite a number of active duty and some retired military's children that are going to be participating.
Well, that's excellent, and it's an opportunity to, who knows, maybe reach into stardom in the future for some of these kids. You just never know. Everybody has to know unless you jump out there. Yeah, you're not going to know. That's exactly what I was going to say. Unless you participate here, and it's a great event, and there's an opportunity to participate in a future event for those who are chosen as the winners in the various categories that they're looking for here, and
And that's coming up on March 4th.
Yeah, March 4th. And
you need to buy tickets now, folks, for this event, because on March 4th, Paul St. John, next weekend, February 18th and 19th, whether you're military or whether you're just out there in the general public, get your kid aged 3 to 21 over to the Courtyard Marriott in Cocoa Beach. Get them signed up. It's a free opportunity for this world-renowned children's photographer and agent promoter to check them out, see what kind of skills or talents they may have. He's going to select about 30 of them for the fashion show on Sunday, March 4th from 9 to 5 p.m. You got to buy tickets now, folks. Honestly, this is a fun event. Grandkids. I mean, look at how many grandparents are listening to American Warrior Radio.
Yeah, exactly. And, I'm looking at the poster as we've been talking here, the flyer for it, and it shows a couple beautiful young ladies on there. And, don't forget, they're looking for boys, too. They're looking for boys 9 to 21,
9 to 21, I think, is the key. He says he's got lots of young girls already signed up, but they need some boys to participate. So if you think your grandchild, your grandson, or your son might be interested in following this, if they have aspirations of fame or celebrity or something, who knows, if they've got a look, and again, you don't have to be some gorgeous little boy or girl, you can be who you are, and you may be picked up by a company.
They're looking for all kinds of different categories of looks, if you will, and presentation and personalities, and it's a great opportunity. Here's an opportunity to start, and who knows where it may end up.
That's right, and it's going to be this is on March 4th, after this coming weekend's screening event for the Talent and Model. The Space Coast Convention Center, used to be the Holiday Inn Express, or next to it, is going to be hosting this. at the Space Coast Convention Center.us. They have discount room rates if you want to spend the night, but Paul St. John is going to be there. It's a full day of activities, but folks, you got to register now. The event coming up this next weekend is entirely free. Courtyard Marriott in Cocoa Beach, February 18th and 19th, that is free. If your child is selected to attend that, they're going to continue on to the fashion show for free. But if you want to attend the fashion show, you need to get tickets now. You can find out more information. Go to avetproject.org. That's our website. You'll find links to American Warrior Radio and WMEL and all sorts of other sponsors. But avetproject.org is where you have to go because seating is limited for this fashion show. We want to see what we can generate here in the local community. We would be thrilled if the military and veteran community would get their children to come out, because that's what it's geared for. If we make any money after we pay expenses, it's going to go right back into our programs and services. We're an all-volunteer organization, folks, 501c3. So get involved, register, get tickets for the fashion show. It's going to support Relay for Life, which is another charity. It's all cancer-related treatment. AVET Project is partnering with them to benefit Relay for Life primarily because of the Vietnam vet situation with the Agent Orange exposure and all the cancers.
Exactly, and you know, this is a great event coming up, and like I said, it's hopefully an opportunity for more than one local child, and we're hoping that getting good participation, as Garen is urging, from our military community and the military dependent children, both male and female. And you know, if you think about it, there's been several of those military brats like me who've made it into stardom later on, so they had to start somewhere like this.
Yeah, we got our own celebrity Glenn McGuffey right here, right now. Started small as a military brat. It can happen to you, folks. Get your children, if they're interested, maybe not in walking the runway, but if they like dressing up or posing, or they're just they have aspirations of fame, this is a neat opportunity. The first event, February 18th and 19th, is free. Come to the Courtyard Marriott. I'm not going to say it again. I'm going to tell you, on March 4th, you've got to sign up to get tickets for this. Go to avetproject.org. All the information is there. And while you're there, click on the Facebook icon at the lower left of the home page, because there's so much more on the Facebook page. As an all-volunteer organization, we're very limited in our resources, and we ask so much of our volunteers, and they really do deliver. But we're behind the times on the website. So we do a lot of work on Facebook. Our executive director really heads that up and does a wonderful job. Kim Cohn, hats off to you, Kim. Thank you so much. Happens to be my wife, so I have to say that.
Oh, absolutely.
No, she does an awesome job. Check out the Facebook page. Lots of news and notes there, too, particularly related to this. And I may as well throw out also, we're hoping it comes together. We're going to give cancer the boot. You know, another event. Saturday, March 3rd, this is the day before the fashion show, at Camp Holly from 11 to 4. It's a $10 donation. All the funds raised are going to go to AVET Project and Relay for Life. We're partnering with this. We're going to destroy cancer. That's what we hope to do, get rid of cancer. And it's starting at Big Papa's Sports Bar and Grill right there in Rockledge off Highway 1. More information. DJ Doc Hollywood's going to be there, a holiday. He's going to be there. It's going to be a fun time. We'll give you some more information down the road. But keep that in mind. As you're planning your weekends, coming up on March 3rd, it's Give Cancer the Boot. AVET Project and Relay for Life are going to team up out at Camp Holly, which is a fun place out there on your way to Kissimmee off 192. And it's sponsored, as always, by this wonderful radio station, AM 1300 WMEL. So we covered a lot of ground there. We got some other stuff we want to talk about, particularly the trouble our returning combat vets are having in finding work.
Yeah, it's the national proportions have finally been recognized, and many programs have just been cranked up to encourage corporations and small businesses and medium businesses and large businesses to hire veterans. There's the monetary incentive out there to do that, and there's another one here in Florida. The governor launched the Hiring Florida Heroes program. What's that about, Garen?
Well, it's to promote the availability of jobs, both to the employers here in Florida and the potential employees. And it's a neat opportunity if you are a business, small or large, and you've got positions available and you're looking for a specific skill set. Through this initiative, you'll be able to pair up your needs. You need a machinist or whatever the skill is. It's going to be paired up with a military specialty of a similar nature, and the two of them can get together. And it's a great program. I hope it gets some legs and goes. It's through Employ Florida Marketplace, and I'll throw the hotline out there. Share this with your friends. If you know somebody that's unemployed or underemployed and they've got a military background, the Florida Marketplace hotline is 866. This is why we tell you to grab a pen. 866-352-2345. That's to connect with a workforce specialist. 866-352-2345. And Glenn, you mentioned the tax credits that companies can get by hiring vets. I think that's a good way to kind of push them or pull them into the mix.
Yeah, and that's up to $9,600 per veteran hired through the Vow to Hire Heroes Act of 2011, which is a federal act.
That's what the president recently signed.
And that's certainly a good incentive to hire a veteran. And I like this program here in Florida because marrying up the military skills with the civilian equivalent titles sometimes is tough for veterans. They sit down and write a resume and they go, my MOS, what? No, and the employer goes, what are you talking about?
Right, and it keeps it real simple. If you go to the site, you can also check out the floridavets.org, www.floridavets.org. All this information is going to be available there. But the key is that the National Guard here in Florida has rates exceeding 17% of unemployment for those that are coming back. And there are armories, and there's one locally here, the 715th, is experiencing far higher than that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, some months ago we heard it reported from the FDVA, that's the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, Colonel Prendergast, who heads that up, singled out the 715th MP Company here in Melbourne, Florida, as being one of the most significantly affected in an adverse way by the unemployment, some 40%. Folks, did you hear that number? That's 4 out of 10 folks that came back, previously had employment before they got called up, or federalized as it's known, and they come back and they don't have their jobs. 4 out of 10, that's insane.
Yeah, it's beyond belief. And it's, as Garen said, that's one of the largest, well, wrong word, the highest percentage rate of unemployment for our returning veterans who've been over there fighting for our freedoms.
No kidding.
And this is in our local community. We've got to help do something about this. Come on, people out there who hire or looking for people, looking for talented folks. Veterans are the kind of people you want to hire. They were the cream of the crop. That's why they were selected to go in and protect us and fight for our country. They weren't the bottom of the crop, they were the top of the crop. So
that's right.
Some of the screening for finding a good person to hire has already been done by the military for you.
And folks, if you want to help, you can always jump onto avetproject.org, and make a donation. It's going to go towards our programs and services to help past and present military members and their families. Just click on the donate button, avetproject.org. Encourage you to do that. It's an important way to help us help them. As our executive director often says, together we can help more, and that's what it takes, is a collective effort. But we appreciate you joining us again today on American Warrior Radio, whether you're in New Hampshire or Texas or in Afghanistan. You can always dial us up. We thank you so much for joining us today. Glenn, as always, you're available at your office there in the County Veteran Service Office. One more time, your phone number.
633-2012, area code 321-633-2012. And as always, don't forget, thank a vet. Tune in to us next week.